All right. So this weekend, I want to switch things up a little bit. And this way, I can be hyper focused on input. And I tried to make this as simple as possible to understand. I asked the question in the thumbnail, what is this? Simple question. You simply share what you think it is. What is this? Now, check this out. When I first saw this article, this is all that I saw. Now, when you look at that dog from this point of its face up, doesn't it look very deformed? Saggy ears, unlike natural animals. That's not the look. That's not the appearance of natural animals. Natural animals have ears that stand up. They stand up. The ears of these things droop downward, I suspect, because they're so mutated. They've lost some of the nerves and cartilage in their ears. They don't have control over their ears like natural animals of the earth. Natural animals have so much control, they can sort of turn their ears in certain directions. So its ears look unnatural. And look at its head. Its head looks expanded, almost lumped up, as if it has a pumpkin head, as if it's been beaten repeatedly. Its head looks swollen, as if it has giant knots on it. So this thing looks deformed already. And all I'm looking at is maybe the top 1/3 of its extremely deformed face. Now, saying that this thing has a deformed face, that's not hate speech or nothing like that. It's scientific fact. Look it up yourself. This is what science says. It deals with these issues because of mutations. The wrinkly skin, which is so excess, that all it has to do is open its mouth. It doesn't even have to open its mouth. And its skin is overlapping around its face. Okay? I mean, its mouth looks very deformed. Even when it closes its mouth, portions of its mouth is open, leaving a door, an opportunity for all types of bugs, could be poisonous, insects, to get in the stupid thing's mouth. Also, how they always get their mouth open. Another dangerous thing to do. Anything can fly in your deformed mouth. These things are deformed. That's irrefutable. They were created by inbreeding, which is an immoral process. Because their goal was to produce a monstrous creature. Let's just be real here. Both in behavior and appearance. That was the goal. Produce a monstrous creature. That's immoral. It only makes sense to be against the existence of these things. Inbreeding. Your goal is to produce a mutant. That's immoral. Y'all remember this movie, The Elephant Man? The Elephant Man. It was a movie that I used to watch repeatedly as a child growing up. The Elephant Man was a very popular movie. It was fascinating. Seeing the guy with the deformities was fascinating. We Hate Dogs said it looks deformed in general. Most of the mutation seems to happen in the face, though. Right. And yeah, it's all over this mutant's body. But yeah, most of it seems to be in its face, and it's very strange looking. Face, skull, head region, floppy ears, unnatural. Check out an x-ray of a bully breed skull. Its skull is an inch thick at the top. Wow. They also have high density in their jawbones. We Hate Dogs in the chat room dropping knowledge. I did not know that. So my question would be, is the top of its skull thicker on average than the top of the skull of other dogs? Would be my question in response to that. That is very interesting. Which means it will make it that much more difficult to stop an attack. If it has a thicker skull, you whacking it, it only makes sense. That's why it doesn't release its grip when you're whacking it across the head with a bat. It acts like it feels nothing. A thicker skull on top of the released hormones. I think they're androgens, whatever is this release that improves the dog's resistance to pain. That on top of a thicker skull makes these things even more dangerous. And if you can prove that on a scientific level, all the more better. But I don't know if you can see this or not. You should be able to see this. What I see on my screen is a screen of the Elephant Man. Different, shots of this old movie. Okay. Like I said, it's a movie that I used to watch growing up. Always fascinated by it. And it was actually based on a true story. But this is sort of how I look at bully breeds and really dogs in general. Because dogs in general, they're a population of mutants. Very immoral to purposely do that to a person. Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you think it would be immoral to deliberately do something like this to one human? Could you imagine doing something like this to an entire population of humans? Wouldn't that be very immoral? Yeah, John Merrick. His name was John Merrick. Shout out to Jeannie in the house, Nocturna, and We Hate Dogs. Yes, very sad. It was a very sad movie. Took you through his life, his experiences. Now, in real life, it was based on a man named John Merrick. You can search. There's actually a Wikipedia with several images of the real. He was called the Elephant Man. He actually went by the name Elephant Man. That was his stage name. He actually used to tour. He toured for a while as sort of a freak show, something like that. That's a way to make money, whatever. For ends to meet. He went to school, things like that. Had a good relationship with his mother. And, according to the scientists, they don't know why or what is the real cause of his deformities. They were not sure. I think when he was a child, he had an injury. He suffered an injury where he injured his hip. And in the injury area, it became infected. And it made him permanently disabled. On top of the physical deformities, what you're looking at now are images of the real John Merrick. Okay. From what I understand, they're not sure. They have a guess on what his condition was, and they actually mention it, but they're not sure. It's all guesstimations. But my point is, it would be very immoral to do this to a person, one person, purposely, deliberately. What is it to do this to a population of dogs? It's the same thing. It's just as immoral. Especially if they look at dogs as being very human-like. Why aren't these standards applied? Now, just imagine if these population of humans were like John Merrick, but far more aggressive, like dogs are. And they could hear a sound and haul off and attack you. What if they had superhuman strength, rip your throat out, attack till the death? They wouldn't stop attacking until there's a fatality, even if you raised it from a puppy. At any point in its life, launch a deadly, unprovoked attack. If this were a group of deformed humans, of mutated humans, would you all be as obsessed with them? And if dogs are so human-like, don't you think it's immoral to simply have these things in existence, period? If we're so much better than what we used to be, at least during the time when these things were created, and why don't we rectify some of the things that we did during those times where you claim overall morality in this country was lower on average? Why not look at least the more mutated, and their mutation actually increased their aggression levels. Along with their mutation came more muscularity, a quicker tendency to launch an attack, and to be far less likely to cease an attack. Far less likely. All of that came along with the mutation of these things. You have to really bend over backwards to argue that they have a rightful place in society. I mean, let's be honest about that. We Hate Dogs said, I saw a dog the size of a handbag today. No joke. They're becoming so deformed, some rats outgrow them. Yeah, those real small dogs are more mutated. That's part of their mutation. Very immoral stuff, man. Genetically, right. Good afternoon. Breed experts refer to the differences in dogs as mutations that have happened. It's why we call them mutants. Evolution can be considered a kind of mutation, but not all mutation is good. Right. And generally, mutation, like the word mutation, is used to refer to a more degenerative quality in the organism, from what I understand. And when there's a more beneficial quality within the organism, it's usually referred to as evolution, or having evolved in a more beneficial way, maybe adapting to their new surroundings or something like that. But these are more specifically degenerative mutants that are degenerated as far as, and might seem weird, but correct me if I'm wrong, character, but they evolved in muscularity, more muscular, more powerful and strong than the other dogs. But their physicality, as far as their skin became more mutated, because it definitely causes more like infections, all that wrinkles and stuff, cause more problems for them. But at the same time, they're more powerful. But they're quicker to attack and far less likely to cease attack. Based on human standards, that would be a more vicious person, malicious, more aggressive person, who are far less likely to cease an attack and far more likely to launch an attack. So from a human perspective, these things have degenerated as far as character. No matter what, these are nastier dogs. They're more likely to launch attacks. Usually, when these different sources refer to dog bites, and when they say that the bully breeds lead, quite often I believe they're talking about bites overall. That most dog bite cases, regardless of how severe, there was a bully breed involved. Several of them have said that. You remember, I've shared sources where they said bully breeds are responsible for most bites in general. In general, there is an increased risk, but it makes no sense to ban bully breeds and not ban dogs like German Shepherds and other large breeds. But bully breeds cover so many dogs. You really do eliminate a lot of dogs that you generally don't think of when you think of bully breeds. Most people don't think of Great Danes. Most people don't think of boxers when they think of bully breeds. But those dogs would be and should be included in an overall bully breed ban, which is the only serious ban. Even those small bulldogs, they are deadly. They can and have killed children. They may be smaller, but they're more muscular, more aggressive. So, and these mutants, regardless of size, are deadly. Y'all see all these tabs up here, and many of you've kept up with the news. There are a lot of people being ripped apart before and after this bully breed, this XL bully breed facade. They're being ripped apart by non-XL bullies, just as same as the people being attacked by XL bullies. The facade of this XL bully, the fraudulence of it, I feel, is being revealed right now by the subsequent reports that are coming out. Because these are horrible, horrible stories. People being attacked, and these are just regular old pit bulls. You're still getting stuff chopped off. How long is it going to take for people to catch up? It's dumb, and it's actually an insult to your intelligence to focus on XL bullies. And when you look at XL bullies, like I said, they're ridiculously large, unnecessarily large. They don't have to be that large. It's like cartoonish, really. They don't have to be that large to be deadly to an adult human at all. So we'll see how far they get with this goofy XL bully ban. But what in the world is this? If you ask me, more than anything else, it is a very immorally inbred, mutated killer, child predator, primarily, more than anything else. That's what these dumb, hideous monsters are. They're just mutants. They're not God's creatures. That's one of the biggest problems and misconceptions of people, regardless if you believe in God or not. If you believe in a higher power or some type of creator that's not male or female, I don't care what you believe in nature or the planet, you worship planets, whatever. These things are not the result of a natural process. That's the most offensive thing about dogs. They're not the result of a natural process or evolution. They have needed humans to stay in existence. Nature would have wiped them out by now. And that's very creepy to me and very immoral. We should always allow nature to take its course or operate in the same direction or in the same way as nature would. Okay, it's immoral, in my opinion, to keep these things on this planet. Shout out to well, wait a minute, we have more. See, on one hand, we're told that dogs choose to be with us, choose to be the way they are. On the other hand, we're told that dogs are purpose-bred and man-made creations. Right. Put it in the wild. Ban all large dogs, bully Rottweilers. Yep, Rottweilers are bully breeds. And definitely German Shepherds. There are a lot of German Shepherds that bully breeds around. We've seen that as well. Right? Shout out to everybody. I believe this is our second or third member created video. I enjoy these. Like I said, I can focus more on the comments. And I will be back very soon. And I hope you all are able to join me as we continue with this crusade.